Hey, what's up, y'all? Patrick, Cross Country Mortgage. If you're a potential home buyer, stay tuned for a 3-minute market update on mortgage rates, home prices, and the best buyer's market we've seen in years. There are two major stories impacting mortgage rates this week: inflation and the Federal Reserve outlook. Today, the Consumer Price Index showed inflation rising 4.2% year over year in May, the highest reading we've seen in roughly 3 years. Much of the increase was driven by higher energy costs. You know that if you're visiting the gas pump, and continued tensions in the Middle East that have pushed oil prices higher. While inflation came in largely as expected, it remains well above the Federal Reserve's 2% target. At the same time, last week's jobs report showed the economy remains surprisingly resilient, with 172,000 jobs added and unemployment holding at 4.3%. So while a strong job market would typically sound like a great thing, it does put upward pressure on inflation. And why does that matter? Well, mortgage rates are driven largely by inflation expectations. When inflation remains elevated and the economy stays strong, investors become less confident that the Federal Reserve will cut rates anytime soon. In fact, many economists who previously were predicting rate cuts later this year, they're now pushing those forecasts into 2027. So markets have largely shifted from asking when is the Fed going to cut rates to asking, will the Fed hold rates higher for longer? And some economists have even begun discussing the possibility of future rate hikes. So that would not be good for our mortgage rates. If inflation remains elevated, that could happen. The next major event is the Federal Reserve meeting next week on June 16th and 17th. Markets overwhelmingly expect the Fed to leave rates unchanged, but investors will be paying very close attention to the Fed's updated economic projections and, most importantly, their post-meeting comments. Just what they say can move the markets. Wow, Patrick, thanks for the great news. I know, I am just a bundle of great news. So what's the opportunity for home buyers out there? While higher rates have created affordability challenges that we do have options to overcome, they have also created one of the best negotiating environments buyers have seen in years. So according to DMAR, active inventory across the Denver metro area increased to 12,259 homes in May. That's up another 6.2% from April. So buyers now have significantly more choices and more negotiating power than they did just a few years ago. We're consistently seeing seller-paid closing costs, concessions, temporary and permanent buy-downs, so get that rate lower, paid for by the seller, repair negotiations, price reductions, flexible contract terms. Many buyers are successfully negotiating, that's a hard word to say, successfully negotiating tens of thousands of dollars, which just wasn't possible during the peak markets of 2020 and 2022 when rates were actually low. Now, if you're a seller and a buyer, one of the biggest challenges is figuring out how to buy that next home before selling your current home. We do have some options. So our Buy Before You Sell program allows homeowners to qualify non-contingent on the sale of your home. Before your current property sells, you can make an offer on a new home non-contingent. This can eliminate much of the time and stress, uncertainty of coordinating two closings, and can significantly strengthen your negotiating power by making your offer stronger. If you're curious, that word's hard too, about your options to buy before you sell your home, just reach out. I'd be happy to help. And while the headlines may make it sound like a bad time to buy a home, you do have options. So figuring out those options is free, which is one of the best parts of getting pre-approved. We do a no-cost consultation to help buyers determine if it's the right time for them. So if that's you, please reach out. Like I said, I'd be happy to help, and have a great rest of your week. Thanks.